his part in that win tonight, and he's coming to join us now. Great to see you, Trent. How are you? How fabulous to get you out here. Trent, it's been a really long time since we've been able to see you and catch up with you. First of all, wow, what a performance that was from your lot tonight.
Yeah, massive performance. I think a lot of the noise when the draw happened and then leading up to this game, especially the way that we've been playing the last few games and the results we've had. A lot of people just expected us to get battered tonight, but you know, it just shows the mentality. It doesn't matter what injuries you've got, what players out. You know, this competition means a lot to the club, and us as players, we understand that. So go out there and they support us like that. You know, anyone can win, and we've absolutely executed the game plan perfectly in that first half, especially.
It was almost like you were offended by the fact that they were favourites in your backyard.
Of course, I think, yeah, I think people will say that they're favourites, and you know, going off results and the way that both teams have been playing, it could have been true. But you know, when you get to knockout football in the Champions League, anyone can beat anyone. So you know, we had confidence coming into this game. We knew our game plan, we executed it, and we, you know, we scored our goals very, very ruthlessly.
Yeah.
What has changed then in the last month? What was so different today than Getafe, Osasuna, Benfica here? Because it was such a marked difference. I mean, the energy levels, everything was fantastic tonight.
I think obviously the size of the game, I think is the main thing. I don't want to say that other games are less important, but when there's so much hype around the game and so much eyes on it as a player, you know, you need to perform. You know, especially when you play for a club like this, the expectation is there's no excuses. You have to win. So our mentality is to go all the way and win the game, win the competition. So no matter who's in front of us, you know, we want to win.
Trent, we just want to show you Valverde's third goal. How good was he tonight, by the way?
I'm running out of words for him as a player now.
Have you got words for this finish?
He's I've said even as a Liverpool player, I've admired him, and I think he is undoubtedly the most underrated footballer on the planet. I think when you play with him, you understand how much he gives to a team. He covers every blade of grass. He gives us all. He's I think as a player, the best attribute you can have is that your teammates can always count on you, and he's always there. He never lets us down. Obviously scored the last minute winner on the weekend and then does what he does today. It's absolutely incredible, and I think maybe people might start talking about it now, but I think for many years he's been in that top bracket of midfielders.
Yeah.
Even your teammates that weren't playing today were watching, and the reaction from Jude for that goal was this. Have a little look at this, because this really made us laugh, because this is kind of how we all reacted in real time as well.
I think everybody did. I think it was similar for myself on the pitch. It's like you don't see goals like that every day. So he's an incredible player, and he's playing with a lot of confidence, as you can tell. Otherwise, you know, you don't score those type of goals.
Talking about the game plan, Trent, obviously we've seen his 3 amazing goals there, but when Doku was really starting to establish himself in the first half, your teamwork seemed so important when it came to defending Manchester City.
Of course, I think, you know, we played them early on this season as well, so we've seen the threat that a player like Doku can bring. I've played against him many times, so you know what he likes to do, and it's very, very, very difficult to stop. So you have to double up on him, you have to triple up on him to have any chance of stopping him, and we did that. You know, Fede, Thiago, Brahim, they were all around him with me, trying to limit as much success as he could have, really.
And Trent, we don't speak to you as much as we want to, of course. Tell us, how's the year gone? I know you've had a couple of injuries. Are you still really enjoying it here?
Yeah, a couple of injuries, you know. I think it's never what you want when you first join a club.
No, of course not.
You want to hit the ground running. Wasn't able to do that, but you know, since I've found my fitness, found my feet in the team, you know, I'm loving it here, and I've loved it ever since I made the decision and first joined the club. I think, you know, it's a dream come true to be playing in a stadium like this, to be playing for a club like this, and playing in games like this today. So, you know, I'm absolutely loving it, and I'm trying to embrace the culture. I'm trying to, you know, adapt it as well as I can, and, you know, the lads and the fans and the city have all accepted me with open arms, which, you know, you can't ask for more. So, you know, hopefully we'll be able to have a successful season, but, you know, we focus on a second leg next week.
Yeah. All right, Trent, we'll let you go. Thank you. It was really great catching up with you. Put a galvanised Manchester City back into this match. What a brilliant night at the Bernabeu for this team. What did he say to you there?
We were just having a laugh about his assist. He's a goalie that only makes saves, right? But he's got the lot, hasn't he?
Everything was with his feet tonight, wasn't it? The save with his feet at the end.
Top goalkeeper. Top goalkeeper.
The assist, oh.
But Maka, talking about the senior players you were worried about Real Madrid tonight,
Wow.
but Valverde, Thibaut Courtois, I think Vini even he looked dangerous tonight. They stepped up, didn't they? Yeah, Rudiger.
Really did. But the captain was the main man tonight, hasn't he? Led by example. They had 3 18-year-olds on the pitch tonight, Real Madrid, so that can't be scoffed at all. This was a hell of a performance, as you said at half-time, Laura. Wow, wow, wow. I think everybody, to a person in the stadium, will agree that is some performance right out of one of the best, because of the personnel they had tonight, and more important, the personnel that were off the field supporting. Great performance.
And in front of a crowd who are unforgiving and who were putting a lot of pressure on the manager too. How much credit does he deserve?
He deserves massive credit tonight. You know, he took risks. He obviously had to really dig deep. He had to put a lot of trust in people. I think his opposite number, look at who he's up against, who looked like he got it wrong tonight compared to what Arbeloa produced. So it was a big night for Real Madrid, something that they'll want to build on.
City are way still in this tie. You said it there. They've got to take it back to the Etihad, and they can produce some sort of magic there and get themselves into this and hopefully progress into the next round. That's what they'll be thinking about. How do they do it, Mako?
Well, they have to just build pressure on Real Madrid. Of course, you can come out with the things like they have to score early, etc., but they have to perform a lot better. They have to get their dangerous, creative players on the pitch and play people in their correct positions. A lot of them looked, I think Ali and Darren Fletcher said in commentary, round holes, square pegs, whatever. They were all
square
over.
Pegs in square holes.
Square holes, round holes, oblong holes. They were all over the place today. Nico O'Reilly starts at left back. In the end, he's in a number 10 position. You know, they were just trying to find something. Erling Haaland never had a chance because no one passed the ball to him. They just went side to side to side to side. So that has to be sorted out, whether Cherki comes in, whether Marmoush plays. I don't know. Their squad is absolutely rammed, isn't it, Manchester City? Maybe that's the hard part, making those decisions.
We were just saying it, weren't we, Maka, with a couple of minutes to go. I think Manchester City played like they had the injury. They were decimated with injuries tonight. Yeah. People playing out of position, people kind of forced in. They've got so many options in every single position. And tonight felt like, I think Pep smelt blood tonight. And when people make mistakes, of course they do. I thought he wanted to load up heavy and he felt like he could really put the tie to bed. But he got a rude awakening tonight.
We'll take you through all the goals shortly and get some analysis from me, guys. Analysis to do in that game, guys. In the meantime, we've got some analysis to do here. This was just incredible to watch, really, because I think it caught a lot of people by surprise what we saw here from Real Madrid. Let's get straight into it. We talked about how direct Real Madrid have been this season and how much Courtois plays a part in that.
Incredible ball. This was, we talked about, they were cutting lines, long balls, good first touches, and this had it all, didn't it? Valverde started the game so well. Not an easy finish, but to receive this ball, oh, it's an incredible touch. Takes O'Reilly out of the game, and then it's can Donnarumma get to him and tackle him? As I talked about at half-time, pulls his hand away. He's not sure if he's outside the box or not. Doesn't want to give away a penalty and a red card. But look, what a brilliant goal. So delicate and an incredible finish.
Yeah, goes back to chase that ball down and then finds the calmness. I mean, he was so composed in all his finishing today, but that was a cute angle, running back away from the goal. Really, really nice finish to start the game off for Real Madrid.
I love Courtois' celebrations there.
Great moment, great moment for him. You've got to enjoy those big moments. He knows how important he is for Real Madrid. So if he's bringing that to the table as well, then geez, he goes up another level.
I've got a nice goalkeeper stat for you guys, especially you, Joe. Courtois, 2 assists in the Champions League this season. That is more than Bellingham and Mbappe.
Well, I'm sure he'll appreciate that for now, but that won't happen too often.
Okay, guys, let's see Federico Valverde's next goal, because he wasn't done at 1-0. And look, this was a really interesting one, actually, Maka.
Yes, it was a lovely play by Vini Jr. Really burst of speed into the space, gets a little bit of fortune possibly off Ruben Diaz, but it was all about the finish. First touch away from Nico O'Reilly, across Mark Gahey, and then just smashes it quick before Donnarumma can get set, just flies past him, and another brilliant finish from him. Really, really, really cultured finish.
Oh, cultured finish, I quite like that. It wasn't done at 2-0 either. Valverde wanted one more.
If that was cultured, what about this one?
Way back, just watch the way he dances around Mark Gahey. Mark Gahey almost forgets where he is for a minute.
This is just this is poetic, this one, Laura. If the other was cultured, this is poetry in motion. He just glides through, just takes that touch over Gahey, and then over the top of the ball, as we talked about. A really difficult skill when you've got 6'6" Donnarumma flying at you. Commits to what he's doing, and the execution is fantastic.
See the volley, he's always trying to keep it down. The way he's trying to hit it with sort of his flat foot on his toes, just open, makes it come down. Brilliant, again, really nice finish. You could have smashed it high, you could have hit the goalkeeper, but he aims it deliberately low into that corner. An incredible hat-trick on a night like this.
Couple of debuts tonight in the Champions League for Manchester City. Mark Gahey being one of them. He's probably going to be in there in the dressing room going, wow, this is pretty difficult, isn't it, in the Champions League?
Well, do you know what? The levels, I think we were talking about at half-time, Maka, even I think the Nico O'Reilly, that second goal, the little touch from Ruben Diaz, and then Valverde just gets in front of O'Reilly because he's not quite sure that touch was there. They're the little differences you can get away with in the Premier League. But at the highest level, you know, we're talking about the Bernabeu in the last 16, you get punished an unbelievable finish.
This next little bit of analysis, we've got two acts to this one because we've got Donnarumma against Vinicius Junior giving away the foul, and then the reverse, the penalty. Have a little look at this. Just tell me, Joe, from your perspective, how this foul happened and who did the right thing.
Well, first place, City leaving themselves so open, 3-0 down. I think it's sharp from Vini Junior. You see, just as a little step over here, sits Donnarumma down, and then he thinks he can pounce. But these players are so sharp, and immediately the referee's got no choice but to give that. But you know what? He whispered it into my ear just as we embraced after the game. He said this tie isn't over, and he stepped up for his team. 4-0 is a terrible, terrible scoreline, something you can't come back from. But keeping it at 3, massive.
He makes a genuine attempt for the ball, so he only gets booked there. He doesn't get a red card. This is the penalty, though, Maka. Yeah,
it's an awful penalty, isn't it? Vini Junior had a difficult game in the end. He started the first half really well, looked bright at times. But that's a poor penalty. No wonder he hasn't scored that many goals. Kylian Mbappe takes the penalty, so he's resumed that authority tonight, and he won't be taking many more. I don't know what he was up to. He's jumping in the air like a Bruno Fernandes. He never normally does that. No pace on the ball. Simple save.
But also, Maka, that technique requires you to not look at the ball. You see Bruno Fernandes, even Tony, when they approach the ball like that, they don't look at it. But he's done the skip, the slow motion, then he's got no idea what Donnarumma's doing. So once Donnarumma goes the right way, it's such a comfortable save.
What are you thinking as a goalkeeper when you see these little skips and the hop and the jump? I don't like them particularly as a viewer. What do keepers think of them?
It's so hard to get your time well executed. That is why the boys who score consistently, they score big numbers, because if you can execute it and you don't look at the ball, as a goalkeeper you're trying to get set. You're not quite sure how they're going to come onto it, how they're going to approach it. And if they're waiting for your tell movement, it means that you can't go early. So therefore you're reducing how far in the corner you can get. So if they get, the prime example is when they can watch you move and go the opposite way. But if they've got it in their head that if you're going to stand there for as long as possible and they're going to have to go the way that you go, and they're good enough to put it in the corner, like which they are at this level. But Vini Junior didn't do either. He kept looking at the ball. Donnarumma waited, and there he was waiting for him.
And it's not just you, Laura. Most people hate this type of penalty. I hate this type of penalty. But a Panenka or this type of penalty, it has to go in. Because when you miss, you're in big trouble, because that's an awful miss. You go and fire one and the goalie saves it, fair enough. But when you do that, you're just trying to be smart. You're just trying to be... Because it's 3-0. If it was 0-0, he wouldn't have taken that penalty. Yeah. He's done it because it's 3.
Mackie goes and he apologises to the crowd. And I suppose they'll forgive him on a day like today because it's 3-0. But at a different game, at a different scoreline, would he have attempted that?
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think so. And you hear the crowd. The crowd still a little tiny bit indifferent with Vini Jr. You can see there was lots of applause for loads of people who worked hard. He gave a ball away right near the end of the game, and we were down here getting ready to come out, and the whistles for him, and there was fans by me calling him every name under the sun. They were Real Madrid fans, so you can see he still hasn't won the crowd over fully yet. A lot of the young kids, Fede Valverde did, everybody works hard today, House and Rudiger, they have won the crowd over with that performance today, but they're still slightly indifferent to Vini Jr. You can hear it.
Yeah. Let's have a look at this big Courtois save. We said he was so effective at both ends of the pitch today. How important would this be?
This is he's just a top goalie, and he's on it all the time. Difficult passing, didn't really give him too many options. To be aware as Nico O'Reilly comes around the blind side, actually strikes it so well. It's an incredible save. It's someone who just never wants to give up anything. You know, he's such a top goalkeeper, and he has been for so long, and his team appreciate him, because if they're going to do anything, he needs to be at that level.
Mac, if they'd have taken 3-1 back to the Etihad, it would have felt a bit different, quite a lot different to 3-0.
As Joe rightly said, 4-0 finish, 3-1, they're right in the game again, because you know that Manchester City can't be this bad again. They won't be this inefficient, they won't be this subdued, they certainly won't be like that next week. 3-0 even now, depending on what type of team Real Madrid put out, there's a question mark about it, because I don't think they can replicate that type of performance. With 3 18-year-olds on, it was a hell of a performance, as I mentioned before. So it's going to be really hard, but they've put themselves in an incredible position, aren't they? 3-0 up. Nobody, even the ardent fans, didn't think that was going to happen this evening.
Kylian Mbappe was in training as well, but didn't make it back for this. So I'm sure they'll be hoping he'll make it back for the other leg over in Manchester. Guys, stay with us.